Hey guys, it's Gabby Delise and welcome to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys about the time where my phone got stolen and a whole bunch of crazy shit happened afterwards. So to help me tell this story, I have a freaking White Claw. First of all, have you ever seen White Claws come this big? I saw it at the gas station and I was like, oh, so it's like that now. So the story starts off about a month ago. I told you guys recently that I got a new job. So this was going to be my first day training at that new job as an event planner for a photo booth company. So it was my first event I was gonna work, and it was for, of course it had to be this gigantic event. So the event was for the Dallas Dinner en Blanc. If you don't know what that is, it's basically like a huge event that happens all over the country. I think actually the world, because it's French, so I'm pretty sure it started in Paris. But it's a day where everyone comes to this event dressed in white. You have like nice white gowns and fancy hats with like feathers and shit coming out. And basically you buy a ticket and then you are only sent the location of a meeting point. You drive to that meeting point and then from there a bus just drives you to where the event is. So you have no idea where you're going, and it's like some real Get Out vibes. So I was hella nervous because I'm like,
am I about to be kidnapped or some shit?
We get there early to the event. It's at the South Fork Ranch, if you know where that is in Texas. So we drive there and then we get everything set up. The photo booth looking good. I learn a little bit how to set it up. I meet my coworkers, all of that. So buses and buses and buses of people dressed in white come. They're setting up their little dinner tables and then they start having dinner. I mean, that's the whole event. They just set up their table, they eat, they wave their napkins in the air like this, and they just drink and have a good time. So there's probably 3,000 people at this event.
Was it 3,000 or 1,000?
At least 1,000 people were there. So for the photo booth, obviously everyone wants their Instagram picture, everyone wants a photo. So literally so many people were taking pictures all night at our booth, and we're the ones like pressing to take the picture, printing out the pictures, handing it to them for like 1,000 people. So we're going non-stop for 3 hours, like literally non-stop. After those 3 hours, finally the event is finished. We can start breaking down. So we turn off the lights, we take the backdrop down, we put the props away. So obviously everyone who's left at this event knows that the photo booth is closed. The lights off, the backdrops are down. There's no reason why you should be near the photo booth anymore. And most of the buses had taken the people back to, you know, where their cars are anyway. So there was only like a few stragglers left. So basically me and the other coworker I was working with, we had laid down our phones. Like here is the top of the photo booth, like where the camera is, where the iPad is, like the main little box. So we had just had our phones right here. Here's my phone, here's her phone, just sitting on top of the box. And mind you, there's a camera right below it, and in the front there's like an iPad. We had another photo booth at the other end of the event. So our other two workers who were working this event with us, they come over to us and they're like, okay, now that we're done, we're gonna do a group photo before we all pack up and leave. And we're like, okay, cool. So we leave to go to their booth because they still had theirs set up. So we went over there to take our little group photo. All four of us were in front of the backdrop. We take our little group photo. After that, we're like, okay, let's get the hell out of here. So we walk, me and my other coworker, we walk back to our booth. So we come back to our booth not even 3 minutes later, and we start breaking down our photo booth. Now by this point it's like 10 o'clock, obviously it's dark as shit, and so I'm not much help because I don't know how to break this thing down. So my coworker, she's like, hey Gabby, can you grab your phone and shine your flashlight on because I can't see anything? And I'm like, yeah, okay. So I start looking for my phone. I'm looking on the table where the props were, not there. I'm looking on top of the photo booth, not there. I start looking around the floor, maybe I dropped it, not there. I go back to my purse just in case I dropped it off in there, not there. So at this point, I'm like,
Where's my phone?
so I'm like, what the hell? I can't find my phone. She was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna grab my phone and see if we can find your phone. She starts looking for her phone. It's not on the table, not on the photo booth, not in her purse, not on the floor. So we call our other two coworkers over and we're like, hey, can we use your phone to call our phones? So we start calling our phones. It's ringing, it's ringing, it's ringing. No answer. I grab the phone, I call my phone. It's ringing, it's ringing, it's ringing. No answer. At this point, I'm like, I've been in this situation before.
Oh fuck, someone stole our phones.
So at this point, I'm mildly shitting bricks. And I'm like, I cannot lose another phone. Like, we use the other coworker's phone to start using Find My iPhone to start seeing if we can track it. But for some reason, I guess there wasn't service or something because it wasn't working. It would just say like location not available or something like that. So that was like really fishy. And I was like, well, shit. That usually means that the phone is turned off. So at this point, I'm like, you know what? Let me give these people the benefit of the doubt. Like, this event is for philanthropists. So I'm just gonna hope and pray that these people are good people and maybe they just thought it was left and they took it to the help desk. So me and my coworker, we go to the help desk. We're like, hey, did you find any phones? She's like, no, but leave us your information and in case something shows up, we can call or email you. So we do that. Then we're like, well, let's check the DJ booth. Maybe they took it there. So we walk all the way across this freaking 50-acre ranch. I don't even know how big that is, but like, it's a ranch. So we had to walk all the way across this ranch to the DJ booth. And we asked the guys there, we're like, hey, has any phones been turned into you? And they're like, no. At this point, I'm just like, fuck my life. Why? So after this point, I'm just like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just like break this shit down. Let's go the fuck home. So we pack everything up in the van, and as we're leaving, we see a cop. And like, I'm visibly pissed off because this cop was like,
hey, how are you guys doing?
and then I was like, we got our phone stolen. He's like,
oh, well, it's not the end of the world.
and I literally was like, did I say it was, sir? And he was like, whoa, no. This is not the time. I don't know. Just stop talking to me. I want to go home and cry my eyes out. Thank you. So the cop like takes out his little notepad and he's like, okay, well, just write down your information, what your phone looks like, and then leave like an email or number that we can call just in case we find it. So we do that, and then we leave to go back to the place where we all met to like go back to our cars so we can drive home. As we're driving home, they wanted to stop at McDonald's, and you know I'm pissed when I don't buy anything from McDonald's. But in the McDonald's drive-thru is when I had an epiphany. Oh shit. My best friends have my location. I go to my coworker, I'm like, hey, can I use your phone one last time? And she's like, yeah, of course. So I start calling my mom. She's literally one of the only numbers I remember. So I call my mom. It's like 10:30 by this point. And like, you know, moms, like they don't answer unless they know who it is. So I'm calling from a random number. It's 10:30 at night. Like, she's not gonna freaking answer, and I already know this. But I call her one time. She doesn't pick up. I call her again. She doesn't pick up. I call her, and I'm calling like immediate because maybe she'll know that it's like an actual person calling and not just like a telemarketer. So on the next time I call her, she answers the phone, and I'm like, when she answers the phone, I'm like, hey mom, and she's like, who is this? And I'm like, oh yeah, it's Gabby. And she's like, why are you calling me on this number? And I'm like, my phone got stolen. And she's just like, Gabby, what is wrong with you? Why can't you ever keep a friggin' phone? And I'm like, yes, 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 I know. We can deal with that later. But right now I was like, Mommy, I need you to call my sister, who has my best friend's number, to call my best friend so that she can track my phone. So she starts three-waying to my sister. My sister picks up and she's like, what's up? And I'm like, Celine, I need you to call Lindsay and tell her to track where my phone is. So she finally finds it. It wasn't even like saved as her name. It was just like a random number, but she got it. So she three-ways with me, my sister, my mom, and my best friend. So I'm like, hey girl, what's going on?
Can you please track my phone?
So I tell her the situation and she's like, okay, I'm gonna start tracking it. She goes to the Find My Friends app and she's like, okay, yeah, your phone is still on and I can see where it is. And I was like, okay, what I want you to do now is start screenshotting where my phone says it is, and then start sending it to my mom and my sister and then to my coworker's phone. So she sends the location to my coworker's phone, and then I'm like, oh my God, this is not happening right now. So I see that my phone is literally right next to my boyfriend's house. When I tell you right next to it, like, it's not even 2 minutes away from his house. So I was like, this is absolutely insane right now. Like, this does not happen. And I told my best friend Lindsay to just keep screenshotting. If it goes anywhere, just keep checking it and then send the location to my mom's phone now. So I tell my mom, I'm like, can you text my boyfriend Bradley and tell him the situation, and then tell him that I'm on the way to his house and that you can start sending the screenshots of the location to my phone to him. And she's like, okay, got you. So when my coworker drops me off in my car, I get in my car and then I'm like, I don't have my phone to GPS to get to his freaking house. I mean, honestly, like, thank God I'm dating B, because he has taught me, like, he was in the army, so he's very like directional and I'm so not. So he's been teaching me to start looking at the road signs and not use my phone as like a GPS. So I ended up being able to find my way to his house.
Praise the Lord.
I walk up to the door and it's like one of those doors where it has glass above so you can just like peek in and look. And then I looked because I just wanted to make sure that the alarm wasn't off, but then the alarm was on. And I was like, well, that's weird. Like, I know he knows I'm coming over. So I start knocking on the door. I know the code to get into the house, but I'm not gonna just like come into someone's house unannounced like that. So I kept knocking, not answering. I'm like, okay, maybe he's like playing video games with his headset on, can't hear me. I'm like banging on the door now because I'm pissed off. I'm like trying to get in this damn house. His car's outside. Where the hell is this boy at? So at this point, my crazy ass is like, okay, something's up. Someone is in there right now. Like, I'm about to catch this boy and I'm gonna throw some hands. So at this point, I'm like, fuck it. I put the code in, enter, I turn the alarm off real quick, and I fucking bust open the door.
And he's not in there.
And I'm like, like, I'm low-key like, okay, thank God. I'm not gonna end up in jail tonight. I don't have my phone. I don't know where he is. I don't know where he could be. And I'm like, okay, I have my laptop in the car. So I go get my laptop from my car, come back in, and I FaceTime Bradley, and I'm like, where the fuck are you? And he's like, oh, I had to go pick up my roommate and his friend from the airport, but I'm on the way to go pick up your phone. And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna call you back really quick, and then hangs up. And I'm like, dude. Now at this point, I'm gonna start talking about what happened on my boyfriend's side. And we are almost done with this White Claw. We're making great progress, guys. Hang with me for a little bit longer. After my mom calls him, my boyfriend calls my phone, didn't answer, he calls it again. And the phone was answered.
The phone thief picked up the phone.
Mind you, the phone thief never picked up when I was calling at least 15 times earlier in the night. So when the phone thief picks up, he's like, hey, you have my girlfriend's phone, like, I'm gonna come meet you and get it back. And the phone thief is like, I found several phones. And he's like, okay, well, I'm not really worried about that. I'm worried about my girlfriend's phone. Like, tell me where I can meet you to come get the phone. And he's like, we tracked the phone and you're literally right next to where we are. So like, let's find a place right around here and I can meet you to come get the phone. And she was like, well, I'm not there anymore. And he's like, okay, well, where are you? She's like, I'm in Dallas. And he's like, okay, well, where at? She's like, so he just cuts her off at this point and he's like, ma'am, like, we can do this at the police station if you want. Like, we can do whatever you want to do. Just like, give us a place to meet so I can come get the phone. She's like, no, I'm at the Galleria of Dallas. My boyfriend's roommate chimes in and he's like, where should we meet you? Like, come on, like, let's get this thing rolling. Like, let's meet up, let's get the phone and just be done with it. And she's like, well, how many of there are you? And my boyfriend was like, there's only 2 of us, even though there was technically 3. And she's like, I only say that because I'm a single lady and I just don't want to be unsafe. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So they're like, yeah, if you feel uncomfortable, we can meet you at the police station and do it there if you want. Like, we're trying to meet you in a public place. Like, there shouldn't be any issue. We just want the phone. And of course she said no. At this point, my boyfriend's getting annoyed and he's like, okay, well, just drop your location and we'll meet you where you're at. And this bitch had the audacity to say,
what's her PIN number?
no, I'm not gonna give you her PIN. And she's like, well, how am I gonna drop the location if you won't give me her PIN? Like, I'm not a thief. I've lost my phone before and I'm just trying to be a good person and return it back. Like, she's trying to act like Captain Save-A-Ho. So again, she asks, so what's her PIN? And my boyfriend's like, no, like, take your phone and send me your location from there. I'll give you my number, just send the location from your phone. And she's like, no, I'm uncomfortable with that. So he's like, all right, lady, like, give me a place to meet you and I will meet you. And then she's like, okay, well, I'm staying at the Westin right next to the Galleria. He's like, okay, cool, we're on the way, we're coming. They finally arrived and my boyfriend walks into the lobby by himself and he sees the lady sitting in the lobby. And on the table next to her, she's got a stack of like 5 different cell phones. So as he's walking up to her, she's like, I don't see the owner with you. And he's like, what? Like, you know I'm picking this up for my girlfriend. And she's like, no, I told you to bring her with you. And he's like, no, you didn't. Like, I can FaceTime her if you want. And so she's like, okay. So she fans out this stack of like 5 different phones. And she's like, okay, well, which one's your girlfriend's? And he's like, yeah, it's the iPhone with the red camo case. And so he like goes forward to like grab the phone from the table and she like tries to push his hand away, but then he pushes hers back, snatches my phone. And so this lady's like, no, don't take it. And he's like, ma'am, this is my girlfriend's phone. Like, if I call this phone right now, my face is gonna pop up on the screen. I can even FaceTime her if that's gonna make you feel better. So I see he's FaceTiming me through my laptop and I answer it and it's the phone thief. And she's like, hi, I'm the one that found your phone. And I'm like, no, you took my phone. And she's like, no, I found it. Don't you remember me? You took a picture of me with my sister at the event. Lady, I took pictures of literally 1,000 other people. Like, no, I don't remember you. And she's like, well, I just found the phone at the photo booth and I just wanted to return it and be a good person and make sure that it wasn't gonna get stolen. And at this point, I'm like, I don't even want to continue having a conversation with this lady. So I'm like, literally just like yell at my boyfriend. I'm like,
Babe, just get the phone and leave.
So he grabs my phone from her and he's like, okay, I'll see you at home. Click. So After about like 15 minutes after that, he gets home. I'm still like shitting bricks because I'm like, oh my god, what if something happened after I hung up? What if he doesn't have my phone? What if she already deleted all my shit? And I'm like, I have nudes on there, like, I just need my phone back. So yeah, that was basically the story. He came home, my phone was perfectly fine and perfect condition. Here we go. This is the infamous phone in all its glory. So I basically lucked the hell out with getting my phone stolen and then tracking the thief into giving me my phone back. Like, this is the type of shit that only would happen to me. Like, I'm just incredibly thankful that I got my phone back, because I have got my phone stolen, cracked my phone way too many times, and I just want to keep a phone for like more than a year, you know? And what's even weirder is that same day I had just discovered the song iPhone by DaBaby and Nicki Minaj, and I literally posted that song to my Instagram. That was a little weird. Like, I get obsessed with the song iPhone and then my iPhone gets stolen. Like, that was a little psychic moment I had. Creepy shit. Just another crazy ass day in my life, and I just had to share this story with you because it's honestly one of the craziest stories that has happened to me in quite some time. Anyways, that's the story. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe before you go ho. And yeah, I will talk to you guys in my next video. Bye.